We are now in the third applications of factoring, and it is already a number problem. The situation goes like this. The sum of two numbers is -4 and their product is -12. Find the numbers. Following the Polias problem solving technique, we have to understand the problem. And to understand the problem is we must be able to retell the situation in most probably in our vernacular. No? Or we could have a representations, no? Based from the situation. So our focus is to find the numbers. And what are these numbers? It is stated in the first sentence that there are two numbers. Okay? And the result is negative when we add. Likewise, when we multiply, the result is still negative. So the trivial part is what are these two numbers? So if we do not know, we have to devise something or we have to make a representation. Let x be the first number. And what shall we do with the first number? Ato i-restate ha, ato i-Bisaya. Ang duha ka numero atong i-add, atong ipunon, ang resulta -4. So the second number must be negative x minus 4 or the quantity of negative x minus 4. Later on, I will show to you nga nung ing-aning hit na hunahunaan ni sir. So, let us recall first before discussing that one, nga nung kining gipili, the definition of subtraction. O, ningon dire. A plus negative b is equals to a minus b. So, ani na pagka-state. If a and b are elements of real numbers, then a plus the negative value of b must be equal to a minus b. Okay? Next, let us also recall the rule of adding signed number. It states that when adding different signed numbers, copy the sign of the bigger value and subtract the numbers. Bigger value minus smaller value must be followed. Ano siya? So for the first representation of the first sentence, we have, based from our unknown, we can write that x as the first number plus the negative quantity, the quantity of negative x minus 4 is equal to -4. So following the definition of subtraction. Anong kini man tuod atong gisuwat? Kining second number as negative x minus 4. Now, ningon tanong nga, we have must think the second number such that pag hunahuna tag numero, nga kung ato i-add ang duha ka numero, ang resulta -4. So, walain. Since ang represent tag value nga rin nga x, dapat ang left-hand side sa equation must be -4. Okay, kung ang x na ang primero nga numero, naagihapon na dapat sa pikas nga numero, pero inig-release na to sa grouping symbol using the definition of subtraction, x minus x becomes 0, ang mahabilin -4. So, unsa may ato manunaan nga numero? Para matangtang si x. So, dapat, napoy minus x. Para mahabilin, na ay minus 4. Para mo equal gin siya sa iyahang representation. -4 must be equal to -4. And that is true. No? So, mo na siya, based on the first sentence. The second one, we multiply the two numbers. And that is x as the first number times the quantity of negative x minus 4 as the second number or the other number is equal to -12. Okay. So, either of the two, no? Representations, ningon dire. Ang primero nga numero, ang primero nga situation I mean, no, based from the first sentence, we have the possibilities. Two possibilities. We are adding two numbers that are both negative. Mao na ang first possibility. Kaya ang answer, negative man. And the second possibility is we are adding one number which is negative and the other must be positive. And since negative ang iyang answer, the bigger value must be a negative number. Okay? And then, for the second sentence, since ang ato ang product is a negative number, therefore, the numbers must be positive and negative. Okay? So, since ang kining duha ka sentence, the same number na maghihapon ato ang gisgutan ani, therefore, ang ikaduha nga possibility may atong kuhaon, which is ang isa ka numero is positive, ang isa is negative. Okay, so this is now the phase of the problem. So pila ra ka sentence, so tulo ra pero taas-taas siya og understanding, no? Ingana gid siya. Let us now devise a plan. So, what are we going to do in order to find these numbers? The task is to arrive a general trinomial using the second representation, the product. And the general trinomial contains a degree of 2 equation, no? Kaya kung na tayo general trinomial, dali na lang kayo na ito pag-factor. Ma-apply na ito ang factoring. So, following the second representation, we have x times a quantity of negative x minus 4, which is equal to negative 12. So, applying distributive property of multiplication, ato lang siya tagsa-tagsaon o multiply. That is, x times negative x, the result is negative x squared. And x times negative 4, the result is negative 4x. And the other right-hand side is negative 12. Kopyahon ra gina nato diri tanan, no? So, duol-duol na ta sa general trinomial. Since trinomial, dapat in the left-hand side of the equation must be 3 different terms. So, ang kuwang ani is negative 12. So, ato ning ibalhin diri spikas. Kaso, in mathematics, we don't have that property nga diretso ra tagbalhin. No? Ang buhaton sa mathematics, basta equation, whatever you do in the left-hand side of the equation must be also be done at the right-hand side of the equation or vice versa. Kung unsay imo buhaton sa left-hand side, unsay imo buhaton diri sa right-hand side sa equation para balanse. So what we are going to do is to apply the additive inverse. Formal solution atong buhaton. Adding the additive inverse in both sides of negative 12, mayroon kitag additive inverse, that is, unsay opposite aning negative 12. The opposite of that negative 12 is positive 12. Para matangtang ni ang negative 12 and this becomes 0. So this becomes negative x squared minus 4x plus 12 equal to negative 12 plus 12. So nag-atag plus 12 diri spikas, napoy plus 12 diri. And this becomes 0. This becomes negative x squared minus 4x plus 12 equals to 0. So this is now our plan to arrive at the general trinomial. We are now ready to carry out the plan. To carry out the plan, we have to solve for x using the general trinomial in order to find the first number. And the next, we will use the second representation of the second number. So we have negative x squared minus 4x plus 12 equals 0. And we determine the value of a, b, and c respectively. A is negative 1, b is negative 4, c is positive 12. And then we multiply the value of a and c. That is a times c, which is equal to negative 1 times 12, which is still equal to negative 12. Okay na. And then we have to factor negative 12. So this is now a part wherein we have to be careful. We have to find a factor of negative 12 such that that factor, when added, be equal to negative 4. Mangita ta og factor sa negative 12 Unya, kini nga factor kung ato i-add, dapat mo equal siya negative 4. So based upon the condition, that number must be a negative number, and the negative number must have a bigger value compared to the positive number. Okay, para maka-arrive siya sa negative 4. So we will first begin with negative 12 and positive 1 as factors. No? Negative 12 times 1, the result is still negative 12. But if we add negative 12 and positive 1, the result is negative 11. So the factors negative 12 and positive 1 is not the factors that we are looking for. Next, 2. Negative 6 times positive 2 is still negative 12. And negative 6 plus 2 will give us negative 4. So, nakita na nga ito ang gipangita. And that is negative 6 times positive 2. And the value of b is negative 4, which is equals to negative 6 plus 2. So, this is negative 6 from this factor and positive 2 from this factor. And in order to find the value of x, muna ni ang trick, no? We are going to divide these factors with negative 1 as the value of a. So that is negative 6 divided by negative 1, the result is 6. And the other one is negative 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. So para makita na to ang value sa x, the first number must be negative 6. And the other one is positive 2. Para makita na to ang value sa x, no? Ato lang kuhaon ang opposite niya nga sign anihang answer pag divide na to. So the value of x must be negative 6 and the value of another x is positive 2. Nga naman, the explanation is this. If we are going to factor this one and we arrive with this one, the denominator of 6 is 1 over 1. And that denominator will become the numerical coefficient of the variable that we are using. In this case, we are using the variable of x. No? So this becomes 1x or x, and the numerator, which is the answer, is positive 6. So that is x plus 6. This yields to x plus 6. Okay. And the other one is 1x minus 2 or x minus 2, which is equal to 0. Kaya gi-equate man na itong 0. And nga nang opposite siya, okay, following this situation, huna-huna, think of the number that makes this expression as 0. So this is negative 6 plus 6. So mo na ang answer is negative 6. Muna akong explain, no? Shortcut na. And the other one, para mo 0 po ni, we have positive 2. Kay 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, mo na. So ang shortcut na nga paagi is find the opposite ng sign aning ato ang pag-answer. Negative 6 and positive 2. So we have the numbers. Time to find the other number using negative x minus 4. If we substitute the value of x here, we have, okay, the value of x is still negative 6. So negative 6 minus 4 is equals to positive 6 minus 4. Okay. Now na. And, mangutana gani this is the rules of sign of subtraction negative number. Kung sunod gani ng duha ka negative sign, automatic this becomes positive. Okay. Kung ato siya i-applyan of multiplication rule, this is negative 1 times negative 6, positive 6. Which is simplified into 6 minus 4, that is equal to 2. So, pasabot ani, kung ang permiro nga, if the first number is negative 6, the second number is positive 2. Now, what about if we have the value of positive 2? If x is positive 2, that is the first number is positive 2 at ilisan ang x value as 2. So, negative x is negative 2 minus 4, which is same sila og sign, no? We just copy the sign minus and add the numbers, which is negative 6. Sabot pasabot, kung ang permiro di ay nga numero is 2, if the first number is 2, the second number is negative 6. So, walay na otro. No? Pareha. Sa laktod nga pagkasulti, if the first number is negative 6, the second number is 2. And if the first number is 2, the second number is negative 6. Therefore, the numbers that we are looking for are numbers 2 and negative 6. Are we really sure that we are correct in this claim? Let us try to find out by looking back. We will substitute. If x is equals to negative 6, this is the first representation. That must be equal to negative 4. Okay, ang tanan x, ilis nilang negative 6. Okay, dara, negative 6, negative 6. We change this into bracket symbol because from parenthesis, naala po tayo gamit na parenthesis. So, based from this, no, grouping symbol ato ang pagpunahon pag-solve. Negative, negative becomes positive. 6 minus 4 is 2. Ang tanan ato rang gikopya, including negative 6. So, 6 minus 4 is 2, and negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4 by virtue of the sign number. Copy the sign of the bigger value, which is negative. Then subtract the numbers. Bigger value, 6 minus 2 is 4. Therefore, negative 4 is equals to negative 4. What about the second representation? If we are going to multiply, are we going to get negative 12? If the value of x is negative 6, so we have, ilisdan na natin, no? Negative 6. Okay, negative, negative. So this becomes positive. 6 minus 4 is 2. And we multiply negative 6 times 2. The result is negative 12 equal to negative 12. O, naghihapon. What about if the value of x is 2? Okay, we have tanan x, ilis nilag 2. Negative 2 minus negative 4, the answer is negative 6. No? And if we add, still negative 4. What about the second representation? Okay, 2. Wala na tanan. Negative 6 times, 2 times negative 6, the answer is negative 12. So, our answer is 100% correct. And that ends our number problem for the third example. I hope you learned something, guys, from this example. God bless.